And we're live. Hello, and thanks for tuning in. This is the SuperBoss Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Harrison Ngo, and I'm joined by Luc Tran
Hello.
and Ian Eatwell.
Hey.
And what we're going to talk about today, let's see. Usually we just talk about what's going on in the nerd world, ranging from movies, comics, to video games. And if you're a new listener, we start by talking about what we've been up to lately, any cool news we've heard, before jumping into our main topic, which is kind of like wrapping up the Ubisoft Forward event, and then it's already halfway through the year, so I figured we just talk about what's been exciting, like what cool announcements have popped up that piqued our interest, or just what we're excited for later on. But what's up, guys? How's it going?
Very good.
Very good.
It's going good.
Have you guys
been
watched or playing anything cool lately?
Oh my god.
Oh,
I finally installed Stardew Valley. And I've lost a lot of time to that.
really? Oh shit.
It's really fun. The whole it's insidious in its design, because the whole what's it called? The whole gameplay loop is you wake up and it's like, oh, I got all these things that I got to get done. I got to do this, and this, and I got to like talk to these people and mine for this stuff. And then you do all that and you go back to bed before it gets too late so you don't lose any stamina. And that's when the game saves, right? The game saves when you go to bed, and then you wake up the next day. So I'm like, all right, I'll do all this until I so that I'll play out this day, and then I'll save and quit, and then I'll get out and do whatever I do. But that's the thing. You save and you quit, and then you wake up the next day. It's like, I have all this other shit I have to do today. Oh my god, I can't stop now. And so, yeah, it's really fun though. It's great.
No, it's really funny because like I got it from my girlfriend like a while back, and at the time I was like, hey, I think you'll like this game a lot. But she plays on a laptop. I'm like, oh, actually, I think it should be okay. And she can play it. And once she did, I think this was like during her break, and that's all she played. Like she just like she put hours into that game. I think one time she stayed up to like 3, and I'm like, I already passed that at that point. I was just I woke up and she's like, I stayed up playing Stardew. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
but
there was a night where I looked at the blinds and was playing. I looked at the blinds again. It was like sunrise. It's like, oh my god, it's 6 a.m. I should go to bed.
Is that me? Oh no, I fucked up.
Yep. Yep. At first, I was like, screw everybody, right? Like, I'm just here to mine and fight shit in the mines.
Oh.
I was like, screw everything else. Like, this is awesome. And then the game, I feel like the game was designed for me. Like, this creator was like, I know how to get this guy. I know what to do. Give him, like, let him choose his goals, but have very, like, specific goals, have a leveling system, and have 3 redhead characters that you can date. Well, actually, I think you can only date 2. I think only 2 are single. The third one's Robin, and she's like your carpenter, but she's married to Demetrius, which is a really cool guy. But Penny, man. She's got this cute little, like, ponytail red hair. She teaches kids. It's like, oh. They got me. You got me, devs.
We're now devs. You're just going to be playing that for the next 2 years.
Yeah, right.
That's great. Wait, Luke, have you played it?
Stardew? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I didn't. I'm pretty sure. I feel like I've done this lately with a lot of games, but when I was playing it before, I started playing it, then a new game came out, and I just like, oh, I'll play this for a little bit, and then I just kept playing the new game. But I've always liked the farming sim life. The original Harvest Moon Back to Nature is the first, I guess, farming sim type game I played, and that was one of my favorite games growing up. So,
I think
yeah, I can totally see how you get just wrapped into Stardew.
It's
it's the perfect, if you're just someone who likes checking off stuff on a checklist, that's your kind of game.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very cathartic in that way.
Yeah, and I think it's the same way how a lot of people suddenly got into Animal Crossing. It's a relaxing game,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many different, like, because like you said, you could spend all your time just like digging in the mines, or you could go fishing, or you like take care of your crops, or take care of your animals, and then like meet people and talk to the villagers and get a bunch of new friends, or you just fight stuff and you're just a cave goblin.
I also I really like the homeless guy that lives in a tent on top of the hill.
Yeah.
I just like bring him stuff, and he's like, "Oh, this is like," I just bring him this stuff like I found in the garbage, or this flower I picked out in the woods. And he's like, "Oh, this is a really nice gift, thanks." I'm like, "Yeah, I got you, man."
I got you, man. Speaking of,
I
like,
think
Harvest Moon, hold on.
Oh,
Sorry, really quick. Isn't
Yeah, go for it.
just to confirm? I think they're gonna come out with Story of Seasons. Friends of Mineral Time. I think that's supposed to be.
is it already out? Or
No,
maybe I just saw some
it-
people. I've seen some people play it, but
It might be out on something else, but it's on Steam now, or it's supposed to be on Steam. I don't know if it came out. Oh yeah, I guess it did come out. Cool.
Yeah, Friends of Mineral Town on
Yeah,
Steam.
it just came out actually. So
mm-hmm.
I think that's supposed to be kind of like the original Harvest Moon. I think.
like a spiritual successor. Or
There's
something.
a bunch of weird disconnects within that franchise, like specifically the Harvest Moon franchise.
Yeah.
Because the breakdown. So there's Harvest Moon and there's Story of Seasons. Harvest Moon has kept the same name, but it's by a different set of developers that did the original Harvest Moon. And the original developers for Harvest Moon couldn't keep the name, so they have Story of Seasons. And
That's what it
so
is.
if you want like old school Harvest Moon, you go Story of Seasons. And then if you don't know, then they just bait you into buying, oh, I loved Harvest Moon as a kid. And then you buy it and it's way different.
Or which one?
Did they just go in like a whole different direction, or?
The style and aesthetic is
Mhm.
really different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which one was on? I got the one on GameCube. That's all I remember.
That one was A Wonderful Life?
I think so. Yes.
A
that
Wonderful
sounds about right.
Season, something?
Something like that. That sounds about right. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, Wonderful Life. I had that one too. That
Yeah.
one was also kind of weird. It
Yeah.
was very... I think that was when they made their switch to like a 3D-esque world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because all the Harvest Moons beforehand were 2D.
Yes. Yeah.
The 3D switch was interesting. But I still liked it.
I mean, for me as like, I think I was like in what middle school or high school, I don't remember, but that was like my introduction to it, and that's all anyone talked about if they play it. They're like, oh yeah, this is the one. I'm like, oh okay, cool. This is the one to play because it's the newest one, I guess. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ian.
No, you're good. Yeah, but I think that's about it. I've been playing that. Let me check out my Steam here real quick. Yeah, no, that's it. That's all I've been playing. Latreon came out, and I was playing Monster Hunter that too.
Oh, I was gonna ask, like, you've both been playing that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was playing earlier today, actually.
Is that-
Litron is really fun. Sorry, Ian, go ahead. I'll let you
No,
finish.
okay. I don't know. I was gonna say I agree with that though. Latreon is really fun. I tried to fight him by myself a few times, and I just get my face mushed into the ground and told how bad I am at the game, and then I ask for Luc and one of our other friends' help, and then I can do it. But that's fun. I think we talked about it before on one of like the upcoming stuff, and I really like how they have the like elemental stuff, and I think that's super cool. So
He's like the hardest one, right? Now?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No
Not
one
the
really knows.
Okay.
It's different because there's a lot of people debating on the Monster Hunter World subreddit that back before Iceborne, when you had Arctemper Nergigante,
Right.
people considered that fight specifically when you only had high rank gear. Maybe that was harder. I think the really funny thing to me about Alatreon or however you want to pronounce it, is that, so I think personally it's a really fun fight, and I think it captures the essence of what they wanted to do with Alatreon in Monster Hunter 3. Just they didn't have the tech at the time. But the first day that Alatreon was out, there was so much salt and anger being thrown about. I mean, like on Twitter and both Monster Hunter subreddits, about how Alatreon was too hard, had a gimmicky thing. The essence is you basically have an elemental DPS check, where you have to do a certain amount of elemental damage to Alatreon or else he nukes the entire map. And people got really salty because like, oh, we can't do it. It's impossible. Slower weapons have bad elemental values and there's no way we can hit the cap. And meanwhile, you saw, like, arguably they were like the very best Monster Hunter players, but all the big streamers were just casually soloing the monster. And so like, there was such a huge disconnect.
Yeah.
And then slowly, like within the next 2 or 3 days, you saw this random guy like, hey, I just soloed it with a hammer. And beforehand, it was both hammer and greatsword users were like, this fight is literally impossible. Our weapons have the worst elemental scaling in the entire game. It's impossible. Capcom, you've made a garbage game. I can never hunt this monster solo. And people be like, yeah, you just
Get good.
use an elemental weapon and then you hit it. And then like people did some data mining, and for slower weapons, their elemental scaling was actually boosted for Alatreon. So the developers actually took that into account, and so that whole talking point was garbage. And just slowly people started to realize like, oh, this is not a bad game. This is not a bad monster design. I'm bad. Or
I'm just bad.
Because like they even stress like you basically have to take an elemental weapon. And people were like, no, that's stupid. Like, you can't have good builds with elemental weapons. And then people like, hey, here's my build. It's not that bad. You just have to do this, this, this. It's like, it was, for me, funny. Because I always like to see when people, I'm that person just sitting on the sideline laughing when people are getting mad about stuff. But this was especially funny because everyone was so angry. And then literally it was a 180 in 2 or 3 days. Where people found out like, oh yeah, you just do this.
I remember, I think the first day it dropped, or the second day, we were talking about it, and you mentioned like how that's the case, and then you're like, it's okay, it'll change like in a few days.
Yeah. Well, even like, well, I was hunting with our other friend who plays a lot of Iceborne, and on our second hunt we beat it. So it's like, yeah, it's not that hard. And then now it's to the point where one of the really big Monster Hunter streamers, Kanta Perme 92. He has beat it once without dodging ever, and then he beat it another time using just the Kinsect from the Insect Glaive, which is a little bug that does like 30 damage. But like he's done it.
Do you mean like without dodging as in the dodge roll or the like dive thing?
He never hit I guess on
or whichever weapon.
Is that A for you for Xbox? He basically never touched the A button.
Wow.
Like at all. So
that's wild.
It's just like, yeah, you guys just need to calm down.
That's crazy.
God, it was really funny. But yeah, I was playing some Monster Hunter today. I'm still playing Hades. I think it's kind of slowing down because my runs are starting to get harder.
Yeah. And
so I can't just like breeze through stuff. So I actually have to think, and I hate thinking. But yeah, I've been playing Hades and Monster Hunter mainly. And once again, it's the thing where, because I remember we talked about when I first got Iceborne, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'll play Iceborne, but I'm not gonna like expect to go crazy. And then I started playing Iceborne, and I just got sucked in. Same again with the Alatreon update, where I'll hunt Alatreon, I'll do it with my friends, and that's about it. And now I'm just sitting here thinking like I should go play Monster Hunter right now. Maybe I'll play like 2 or 3 hunts, and then
a few hours later.
A few hours pass, like, I should probably go.
Damn. It's pretty cool, though.
You still just playing Destiny?
Yeah, so I think last week we were talking about how there's an event right now where they're trying to take away essentially all the year 1 stuff is going away. So me and the boys have been just doing the raids. So I think there's only, because we were talking about how there's, what was it? There's Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, Crown of Sorrow. There's another one. Let's see. Oh, Spire of Stars, and then it's the one that we always do. Oh
Scourge.
Scourge, yeah. So we've done all the other guys have done it. I just haven't done, I think, Crown, which is the Season of Opulence one. But because all it is you just have to do each one once, and then that's pretty much a triumph. I'm just trying to go for a title. That's all it is.
Is there a new season going on right now too?
Yeah. It's a Season of Arrivals. It's just essentially the prelude to the.
Oh wait, I thought it was a new season. Maybe I'm crazy because I know Season of Arrivals was like.
There's a new dungeon, but that came out like I think when the season started.
Yeah. So it's still Season of Arrivals.
Mm-hmm, yeah, it's still it's until like I think September.
Oh, okay.
So and it's still
so it's season.
Yeah, I think this is the longest season just because they had to like drag it till expansion date. I think that's what it is. Because that they even increased the cap to like 10 more levels or something like that. So the cap right now is like 1060, but soft cap is like 1050 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But yeah, we've just been playing that. I think it's just kind of like routine, just because I'm like, all right, cool. I just want to kind of do. It's just the game that we're playing with.
Yeah,
our
I
friends.
see people playing Destiny. I think almost every day I see a group of people raiding or something.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see that. I think it's just because our schedules are so different. So like a few of us can play on certain days. Some of them, like for instance, some of them ran Crown the first time on a Monday, or before that, but they had to finish it before the reset on Tuesday, so they were playing it Monday night just to finish it. And I was like, nah, boys, I got shit to do and I like sleep, so I'm not gonna do that. But that's gonna be like a later thing. So we've just been playing that. I downloaded Halo 3. It dropped, I think.
Yeah, that
this
dropped
past Tuesday?
a day or two ago.
Yeah, like a couple days ago. I just want to see, I just want to play it, and I was gonna probably play with I think a couple of our other friends, because I think we were talking about it. But it's so weird playing that. It's because I remember running through that game so much that I just started up the campaign just to see how it looked, but then I ended up playing the first mission. It's like muscle memory. Like I didn't even have to think about like what to do, you know?
Wow.
And then I was just like, oh yeah, I remember going through this. Here's the queue. Here's where Cortana pops up in your face, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, at the bottom of the cliff thing.
Yeah, like that. And then like just running through, I'm like, wow, so easy. And then I like see other people on like Twitch playing. I see some of like the Halo streamers just playing like the first few things, and they're all just talking about how like this is great, but it's kind of weird to see like. I think everyone's just trying to wait. They're just waiting for the new Halo just to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, it's great that they're releasing all these remastered Halos, but it's so much nostalgia bait, and we're just waiting until Infinite gets released. Because even then, like I know, a lot of our friends played we all played Halo when we were younger, and then I think it happened with 2, but 2 came out. Everybody played it for like a week or two, and then everybody just stopped playing.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
that's kind of the trend.
Well, I think it's also because I didn't play 2 as much. So actually, for me, there wasn't too much nostalgia. I remember playing at my friend's house, but I didn't have it myself, you know? While like I think 3 for me is like the first Halo I actually dealt like just jumping into, like spent so much time in. So I'm more willing to play 3. So I was more excited about 3 if anything. Because even I like Reach, but then I realized playing Reach again though is like, it feels dated, but like playing Halo 3, it just feels right. I don't know how to explain it.
It's too much of a classic.
Yeah, it's just like it was funny because I was talking to my girlfriend about it because I just started like gushing about it. I was like, God, it feels so good to know when you melee the distance that you have to be at, and you know that it's gonna like click like that. It's like those little things, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're a fucking nerd," and I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Halo's great, but yeah, I just played that. And then for some random reason, I booted up Dragon Ball Fighters, just because I was in a mood to like play like a fighting game. So I finished the story that I was not. I guess I was almost done, so I just did this story on the good guy side or whatever. So I finished that. But other than that, yeah, you guys called it mostly just Destiny. But see.
Did they ever finish that the like season pack where they like release like 5 new fighters or something like that?
I think they're still doing that. I think. I think because they only dropped 2 people, so I think they dropped the Ultra Instinct Goku and what's her name?
So
Kefla?
Yeah. So no one new's come out yet.
I don't think so, and I think they're supposed to do it for Evo, but I think a lot of stuff, like a lot of the fighting competitions, are just like canceled.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna. I think they're supposed to drop something, so who knows? No idea. I guess we'll see though.
We will see.
Speaking of new shit, have you guys heard anything?
Like
besides like the stuff we might talk about, like Ubisoft, but it's kind of hard.
It's something that it just annoys me, but
yeah,
they've announced their Crystal Chronicles remake.
Yeah,
that my girlfriend and I are super excited about, but I think today they just clarified that there's no offline multiplayer.
What?
Like there technically is. The way it's worded out is, as long as one person has a full copy, there's a way to play the free version, essentially. But it just throws me off that one of like the best couch co-op games I remember playing when I was growing up, now it's been remade and there's just no couch co-op. The way it works is, like, luckily it is cross-platform, which I think is nice. But if you don't have a copy and someone else does, I think the way it works is that you can play. I think it was there's 2 different like free versions where one lets you play 3 dungeons and one lets you play 13 dungeons. With whoever has the actual copy.
Okay.
But it's just, to me, bad news because I'm really looking forward to that game, and it makes so little sense to me that I can't talk right. But they just like there's no offline like couch co-op. So
that what sucks is like that's almost like nothing new since this current generation, like ever since like Xbox One, or like actually maybe even back then. Remember how I think, like, for instance, Call of Duty, they stopped doing couch co-op, like no more split screening.
Yeah.
Or the split screening got wonky. Or like Halo 5, I think couch co-op was dead.
Yeah.
And people were pissed. And I mean, rightly so, because what the fuck, right? At least like if it's a game that's been known to do couch co-op, it's kind of weird to not allow it, you know? But I wonder if it's just because like the excuse is, couch co-op is dying. But I hate hearing that because I don't think so.
Yeah, like I don't think it's necessarily dying, but it's still something a lot of people participate in. And it's just a one little annoyance of like, why? Like, why would you guys just not include it?
Yeah. Well, it's probably dying right now just because people can't go over to each other's houses.
But
no, even before,
besides
I think people were claiming that. It's like,
yeah, I was just making a joke.
I mean,
I think a lot of those people don't have friends that are close by.
Yeah.
Because we have games like Mario Kart, Mario Party, and like Smash is even like able to be played couch co-op, couch PvP. But it's just another thing that I hate hearing about because my girlfriend and I were both really excited to play it. So more than likely, we're gonna have to buy 2 copies, which is just an annoyance.
That is super weird, honestly.
But like, luckily, it is cross-platform, so we could just play on the PC or something. But we have to buy 2 copies.
Is it gonna be on all systems launch day? Minus Xbox, I think, right?
The only things I know for sure are Switch, Android, iOS, and PC.
I think PS4 also.
If it is, I'm not sure exactly, but
I don't remember.
We all have those consoles. It's just if it's going to be a $60 game, it's just an annoyance.
I don't think it will. I really hope, but I don't think it will. I just hope it won't be. If they do, then that's going to be stupid. I think it might be like maybe a $30 or $40 game.
Yeah, like if it's a $40, it takes the sting off, but
yeah,
It's just one of those where like you didn't have to do this in the first place, but
No.
That's me complaining as a consumer. I'm sure as a corporation they're like, yeah,
we did our move.
more people are gonna buy our game. But that's the only notable thing outside of our main topic that I feel like we can talk about for me.
Yeah. What about you, Ian? Anything cool?
I don't think so. There's not a whole lot besides the main topic thing. There's not a whole lot that I've been
I think the only cool
hearing about
new drops I would say is probably like the 2 games coming out this week, Ghost of Tsushima and I hear everyone say this different. I say now I'm debating how to say it. Is it Tsushima or Tsushima or do you guys know? Like I've heard it several ways. And I'm just like, what?
It probably depends on how familiar someone is with the Japanese language.
Yeah. Because the first like sound that you're making there is TSU.
Right.
It's its own like symbol,
anyway.
Its own thing. But I just say Tsushima.
Yeah. Well, so that and then Paper Mario, which I'm kind of holding out. I'll see. I've already seen reviews. I don't know about you guys, but I like Paper Mario, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it right away. It might just be like a game I'll get on sale, but I have no idea. And then Ghost of Tsushima. Oh my god, can't talk. I've just heard good things about it. I don't know about you guys.
Did that drop for everything or
no? It's only for PS4.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. Right.
That's a PS4 only thing. And I think it's going to be PS5. So I highly doubt it's going to be ported to PC like Horizon anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Horizon took forever.
No, exactly.
PC,
yeah. It's like it took like a generation, essentially, console generation, just to get on PC, which I think they're going to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. So if anything, we're just going to take a quick break before we go into our main topic. So go get a snack. Pee break, anything, whatever. Because I need water.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
All right, see you in a bit.
Okay, bye.
All right, let's see. Our main topic for today is I keep forgetting. No, I'm just kidding. So it's gonna be when did it happen? Like last Thursday now? Oh, no, this past weekend. Ubisoft Forward. Did you guys have a chance to check it out at all, or just read any recaps?
I watched it all. I watched the recaps and stuff. I wasn't there live, but
yeah. Okay, cool. We'll just kind of go down the list really quick, just because I just to kind of our own recap, quote unquote. I didn't really watch the pre-show, but I know they just kind of touched on a lot of stuff. Let me see. It's because I watched the main show, but I didn't really watch the pre-show. But essentially, I think pre-show is just like Just Dance 2020. They like kind of mentioned new songs or something. Mythic Quest, like that, their show. I guess they're giving an update on that. The Crew 2, I think they are including new additions, like new modes or something like that. I can't remember. And then Division 2, I guess they were just touching on.
They basically just mentioned it. Like there was.
They mentioned.
I didn't see why they even had to include anything about the Division 2.
Something about ducks. I didn't.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Wait,
yeah,
like
there are rubber ducks in game, and basically Ubisoft referenced them.
They acknowledged that they were there, essentially.
Okay.
It was a pre-show thing, so it wasn't like a main reveal, but it was just kind of weird.
It was like their way of just including like all their games, but like not like the big hitting.
Was it like a secret? Like if you find them all, you get something, or
no? There are ducks in the game.
Just rubber ducks, rubber duckies.
Maybe it's like an inside joke that.
I mean, they did say, so the whole point was developers would leave rubber ducks on things to remind them to like, hey, go back and finish this asset or texture or whatever, and they ended up just leaving the rubber ducks in the game. So it was just a tiny little Easter egg that they just felt like referencing.
That's fun. That's cute.
Yeah. Random. Speaking of, I can finally run that game, no problem.
Oh, did you fix your? Was it a processor issue?
It was. I got the Ryzen 7. And it
that's right. You got a new one.
His fix was he got.
My fix was getting. Yeah. No, but it really was, and because I kept looking into it, I was like, oh, most like I think Division 2 and like Assassin's Creed were like CPU heavy games also. So more Division of it. Division 2.
Huh.
But essentially, yeah, that fixed my problem. So it runs fine now.
Well, that's good to hear.
I was like, all right, cool. But don't know if I'll jump back into it anytime soon. And Trials Rising, I always forget. This was like, you remember like that one game on it was like the internet or the web-based game, like it was like a bike game, right? Just getting through obstacle courses. Isn't this how like it started? Trials Rising? You guys
Yeah, I'm
know?
pretty sure
Are you talking
Trials
about the
originally
game
started.
Trials?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Trials started out as just a web game.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too.
Ah.
Every time I see it, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. That's good.
So it's
But if
just like another reinstallment or whatever?
I think they're doing
Or
let me see.
reinstallment, I meant another install.
It's like another iteration or another version, but I think that it's going to be free.
Oh.
From the way it reads on, I think this week, but I guess we'll find out if it actually is. I'm confused on like if the game is free or if like the new edition is free to the game. I think it's like new tracks or something, but there's that. Oh, and apparently one of the big things was Ghost. So this is where it blurs because I kind of came in at this point, but Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah, they're getting their AI companions are being included. I think today is when they announced that update was dropping.
Yeah, it's today. Yeah, it says today. Man. Because I remember we played Wildlands a lot back then. Or you did. You, Luke, played that
I
shit
think
ton.
I played the most out of our
you
little
did.
like group who played it. But
Mm-hmm.
one of my other friends ended up getting Breakpoint with some of his friends.
Yeah.
And he beat it, and he messaged me after he beat it. He's like, don't get this game.
Oh.
Just
Damn.
just
I mean,
just
I
play
think that's
Wildlands
just
and
kind
everything.
of like. I think lately, with how Ubisoft handles a lot of their games, they kind of mold together, and like a lot of their like game mechanics tend to meld together. And
Yeah.
one of the biggest complaints about Breakpoint was when it was debuted, it was shown to be this kind of gritty, like survival light action shooter,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of devolved into a looter shooter.
Oh.
And so it was basically just a different take on the Division in terms of gameplay,
right.
and people were not happy, and especially because Ghost Recon does have a pretty long history of games being more on the tactical side.
Right.
And so I think, ironically enough, Breakpoint was the breaking point for a lot of people who were like, yeah, this game is not going to be good. And I think it's cool that because I didn't mind the AI companions in Wildlands. They weren't good, but they were useful. But I honestly feel like adding the AI companions back in at this point in the game's life cycle, like Breakpoint to me, I think it's just a dead game, and they're basically just running it on life support.
Yeah.
I don't think no one is gonna suddenly go back and play Breakpoint like, oh man, I can play with my AI companions again. Like, yeah, it was cool. Like, you can customize them, like change the way they look and stuff. But
I don't think that's gonna change anything else.
It's so far late into the game's life where it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I'm more than confident that Ubisoft's already trying to figure out what to do for the next Ghost Recon. So I think they're just doing token gestures for the Breakpoint crowd.
Yeah. If any.
Yeah, if any.
If any. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is with that game.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's
cool, but
I would still go play more Ghost Recon games if they weren't just rather generic Ubisoft open world games.
yeah. And I mean, I remember them putting so much marketing into this too. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, they had is it Bernthal? Was it Jason Bernthal?
Yeah. Something like that. John Bernthal.
Yeah, John Bernthal
was like the main bad guy because he was like
the
like
main villain. They had all this marketing, and then the game was a dud on release. So
yeah, sad.
It's either gonna go they try and reinvent Ghost Recon again, or just goes the way of Splinter Cell, where Ubisoft just doesn't decide it's a franchise worth keeping alive, and they just quietly kill a game franchise I really liked.
I'm so upset about that. we'll touch on that later because I was like, there's this point. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about. I was so upset.
Yeah,
It's like you spit on my face. So the next big, obviously their big thing is Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah,
Dude, that it looks cool. Like the idea, everything about it is cool.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's super. There's just a lot to that game, and it's like really crazy to see. I'm like, I think it just seems super ambitious. It's like their most ambitious thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
With like how much.
Yeah, like I think like I talked about this with our editor a few days ago.
Yeah.
Like I was never really big into the Watch Dogs franchise at
Same.
all anyway.
Same.
And so I'm I guess curious about the game, but I'm not going to get it. I'm just going to say that outright. I have no intention of getting Watch Dog Legions.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, I feel like the game itself is built up on the gimmick of, oh, you can be anybody you want.
Right.
And that sounds cool, but I'm worried because it's Ubisoft and lately a lot of their games aren't to my liking, where they built this game on a gimmick and that's kind of what it's just going to be, is it's a gimmick game. I don't necessarily think it'll be groundbreaking or anything. Like it just seems like it's just kind of the crowning achievement of current Ubisoft's game design, where it just looked very generic, and it's not a looter shooter, but it's a looter character game. You just run around and collect people you think will be useful, and since they're probably going to be randomized, there's no incentive to care about these characters besides their stats. And so you're relying on the game's story to hold up, and that's probably going to be up in the air.
Yeah.
But especially, I talked about this with Ian a little bit before we started the show today, but I feel bad for Ubisoft and their Ubisoft Forward event, because these games are on the end of this generation's game life cycle, and I think it shows in terms of just the visual quality of their games and their animation quality of their games. They're not impressive enough to me to make me interested like any more than I already am.
Yeah.
Especially if you compare.
We'll touch on that. Like that's kind of like.
Oh, you want to talk about it at the end?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that at the
Okay.
end, because I have a question about that too, actually.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, Legion I think will be interesting, but I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's a gimmick. Will be my immediate thoughts, and I guess we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. What about you, Ian? What do you think, actually? I think this is like their big thing.
So I'm also the same in that I've never played Watch Dogs, but I've always just kind of like looked at it far and like, oh, hey, that's kind of cool. That's really cool. I got, after watching, I got more interested in it.
Same. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, the next closest game I can think of this is in XCOM. I had like my whole team that I like tried to like I made sure these people would not die because they were my crew in XCOM, and so I kind of get that same like, oh, I'm gonna go in this game, I'm gonna like make a crew, make a team, I'm gonna get all the people that I want, and there's just that kind of like I don't know, emotional satisfaction about it. But it also just, I don't know, there's like a tech future scape London. I really like the setting about that. So
same. Yeah, I think it's cool that it's in London. I think I'm only hesitant because it seems super ambitious, and like Luke said, it's like you're gonna have like all these people, and it says it's all random generated. It's not gonna be like same, quote unquote. They always say that, but it'll just be interesting to see like, oh, there's probably gonna be like a certain set of people that are like, oh, if you want to actually play the game correctly, these are the only ones you should care about. But I think it's cool how like I don't know. I'm just thinking like, oh, this could happen, but I think it's just cool like they give, I guess, quote unquote, player choice on like how they want to approach things. I mean, I feel like it's always like the Ubisoft thing to do is like, oh, you can do like a aggressive thing or like
Yeah,
a
you can
stealth
go
thing.
sneaky or hacky or
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
action packed. And
Yeah.
my only like complaint about that is, I mean, you're gonna use the like kind of cliche phrase, but you have like there's no depth to the game at that point.
Mhm.
When the game is so open ended, then developers probably can't make like partly why I think certain games like God of War and Horizon and the Uncharted series do so well, because they're very linear and they have very like specifically crafted events that happen to the player that make it seem really cool and interesting. Whereas if you have to plan for like 5 different types of scenarios, you make the scenario so generic where you can do it in any of these 5 ways, and so there's no like interesting like set pieces effectively.
You're like watering out a concentrated thing.
I somewhat agree. I think, and I've mentioned this before, like how I think it's kind of cool where if it's a game where they have variety in how you approach it, it's just more, it's just how they do it, like how well they do it. I think that's the important thing. If it's too watered down, then yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, and
But
that's where like
this is where the
I'm
gray area
I'm
happens.
basing all of this off of my previous experience with the current Ubisoft games, and I just don't think it's going to be executed
Mhm.
to the level where it will be that interesting.
Yeah, like it's not going to be like Deus Ex. I know they did it relatively well, or like Metal Gear Solid 5 did it pretty well. I'm expecting Ubisoft effort, but I also kind of hope that it's going to be more. Because, I think my main worry is like, it's a cool system, but it might be too gimmicky, but we'll see.
I don't know. I feel like like, so you're saying those all like those story-based linear games. But I mean, this has like a direction at least.
It does, yeah.
So I feel like it's just giving you different avenues to
tackle a
direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just kind of one of those things you'll have to wait and see on.
Yeah. But if anything, I'm more excited seeing this, like after they presented it this time. Because like before it was just like, oh, cool, you can play whatever. But this time they actually give like, oh, here's like why you're doing it. Here's like the story kind of. So it piqued my interest a little bit more. I'm just a little more hesitant, but
yeah,
we will see.
I expect some hilarious things from that.
I do.
Too.
Oh, I expect some. I expect a lot of shit on Reddit, to be honest.
Yeah. Faux show.
Next one. What was it? God, just lost my doc. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, Brawlhalla. That.
Oh
I
yeah.
Didn't know they
the
owned this
fighting
game. I didn't know they had this. I thought it was just. I didn't even know they like. Yeah, I didn't know they owned this.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a Ubisoft game.
It threw me off. Yeah, it threw me off. I was like, what the hell?
That's
Okay,
funny.
cool.
It looks fun though.
It looks fun, yeah. I guess it's going to mobile, so I think they're starting to touch mobile stuff, and I think
that's really
launching
interesting to me. Like a fighting game on mobile, and they were advertising like you can like map out your quote unquote buttons however you want.
Yeah,
that seems like weird. Like I wonder if, I don't know. It just seems, it's just something I've never thought about, like having a.
I mean, isn't Street Fighter on mobile? Am I crazy?
I don't know. I've never played fighting games on mobile, so it just seems like a weird.
I just never thought about it.
Thing.
It's kind of weird too.
But
yeah, we'll see.
That's cool.
But and then they started talking about more of their mobile games. I think like Magic and My blah blah blah. And then freaking this cool on them for doing it. But Tom Clancy's Elite Squad.
I want to get to that. Yeah. What is this?
It's just a mobile game.
It's just a mobile game.
It's just a mobile game?
It's some sort of mobile game.
Why is Sam Fisher there? Like, what's happening?
I'm convinced at this point they're only keeping Sam Fisher around as like just the little Easter egg of like, here's Sam Fisher, and then people get interested.
Yeah, it's
because I feel like that's it.
Same. Agreed.
He's just the way to generate hype at this point, because
but it's
like,
just
I saw
such
him and
a
I got
far...
really excited, and then
I had hope.
It was like, oh, mobile game. Okay, never mind.
It's such a like far stone's throw away from like the realistic, like gritty Sam Fisher. Now it's all like cartoony and
that's like I'm like to me, Splinter Cell is just dead. And they have the rights to Splinter Cell and Sam Fisher, so they might as well use them. But I don't think they have any desire, any interest to make a Splinter Cell. So their only avenue of keeping that character relevant is just Easter egging him into other games.
Yeah, plug him in. Man, my vision of how that would happen in a perfect world was they would have him in this mobile game, but then all of a sudden fade to black, and then he comes out like new graphics and everything. Here's the new game,
dude. Yeah, if he stepped out of the cartoon world,
dude,
and it was like next gen,
transition,
and you're like, new console game. God, I would have died.
Like he walks behind a pillar, like because he's exiting the mobile game. All of a sudden, he transitions to the new one. But you know what? Whatever. Fuck off. I wanted that so bad.
Dang.
But whatever. It's fine.
You should be on their Ubisoft. Should be on their big ideas team,
marketing team.
Yeah. They get shut, and it gets shut down every time. No.
Yeah. They're just like, hey, we forgot to tell you that Splinter Cell's dead, and you're not allowed to reference that franchise. So stop talking.
Stop talking, please. All right. Cool. Next thing is Hyperscape. I guess it's not going into open beta, so I guess we'll see how that goes. I think it's for sure on PC. I don't remember. No, yeah, okay, yeah, for
PC, Xbox, and PS4.
Yeah. So that's going to be. I think that's the final release date, but right now it's open beta. So I guess I guess more people that get to play it. Hopefully they make it better. Yeah, sure.
I think the whole we're talking about gimmicks again. The whole keeping the audience part of it, on Twitch. I'm interested to see how that works out, especially if they're gonna I don't know if they're planning on making this a competitive, a professional competitive scene.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I'm sure they are if there's any. But I'm just interested how that'll work out. Because it seems like such a weird.
They're banking so much on the game being popular on Twitch for more than just because obviously when the game is officially released, you'll have all the variety streamers go to Hyperscape,
right? And
maybe a few of the really big FPS streamers go, but that's probably it. And unless your game has so much staying power where it can last the first 5 days of hype, it seems so gimmicky to do that.
It's also so late. I don't expect this game to do good.
Neither do I.
And I don't really care too much about it.
Nope.
But I mean, it looks cool and it's interesting. At least the concept that they're trying to pull off seems interesting. I wonder if that'll happen for other competitive game type things.
I really hope not. I'm just tired of all these gimmicks, and especially when it involves audiences, the whole Valorant keys being dropped if you're on stream. It's it's a stupid artificial way to
generate
keep your game relevant.
I think that's fine, honestly.
I think it's fine, but it's so blatantly artificial. I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, but
I mean, you have people who got the drops though, so there's obviously working.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of if that trend continues and becomes more prevalent, it's just maybe it's because I'm so contrarian. It's just gonna annoy me too much. Where I just I'll go so ballistic in the other way where I just I'm just gonna delete Twitch. Stuff like that. Because I think honestly,
go on. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it's just a choice. If you decide to try to get the key, good for you. Just keep watching, sure. But most time people just probably leave it overnight. Blah blah blah. Try to get the key. I mean, because to me, it's almost the same thing of just signing up for a beta and never seeing the key. So to me, it's that's a
it's just a different way to get a key, and it's just I would rather just not be constantly teased with the product than to be hey, I signed up, we'll just see what happens.
Because I mean, for me, all I ever see on Twitch is just drops enabled, but that's not it's not hindering my watching experience. I don't know about you guys, but I don't see it. So
I haven't seen that in a while. So
yeah, because I've only seen it's only Valorant and in this, but now open beta is up, so I guess it's a non-factor.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So it doesn't really matter.
But yeah, I think it's so late into Like,
The
I
VR.
do think it's cool that they're going for a more, like, I guess, arena-style shooter. Like,
Mhm.
when I think of arena, I think of Quake, like a very
Yeah, same.
Quake-style
Right.
VR, but you're still trying to dip into the BR scene, which I think at this point is the BR scene is locked down.
Yeah.
And you're not getting into that, so
Mm.
I think it'll be cool, but it's not going to be successful.
Yeah, it's like BR is locked down. I think Arena is relatively locked down. I don't see anyone like moving away from because I think Quake's free also, so it's kind of like
Yeah, Quake
why would you?
Champions. I
Yeah,
think
with
it's
Quake
free.
Champions. So it's like if you like that kind of style, I guess there's I get why they're trying to break like add on to that. It's like, oh, this is a like arena style version of a BR versus like the other ones. But I think the other, I don't know. I'm not. I feel like the BR genre is just too. God damn, it's a genre. But I think it's just kind of saturated at this point, so it's super late.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, next one. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I mean, I'm not surprised. Got what I got. I was like, cool. It's actual gameplay that should have been shown off like what, a few months ago now, at
Dogs.
the Xbox thing.
Dogs, guys,
Bruh.
bros. Dual wielding shields. I'm in. 100%. Ever since Dark Souls, you got that double shield, baby. I'm in. The minute they showed that, I was like, all right, you got me.
The dual wielding is cool. I'm like, okay, that's variety. And
I their combat really seems, and this is someone who hasn't played too much of the newer ones, but their combat really seems to have like stepped up a notch.
like me watching it, it looks like it's just a more polished version of like Odyssey probably, or more. And this is me coming from playing most of them, but I like it. I think it just looks more polished. Like it's just cool how like you have more variety. I think the dual wielding is just the biggest variety. I'm like, all right, that's cool, and it looks more visceral. Like I was watching this part, and it was so funny because my girlfriend was next to me, and she's like, "Damn, this looks violent as hell." Like as just like in comparison to like her watching me play Odyssey, and she's like, "This looks way more visceral." I was like, "Yeah, sounds about right." I mean, I'd expect it.
Yeah, there was like there was one moment where they did the Mortal Kombat like X-ray vision thing. I was like, oh, okay.
I did not know.
I don't think it wasn't like an
did
actual thing. I think it was just like a trailer thing.
Yeah.
It was just a trailer shtick, but
Yeah.
that was interesting.
It was interesting.
This is like I mean, I don't want to. I guess we're gonna talk about it later, but this is kind of like another one of those things where Luke was saying how the whole it doesn't look new, and that's kind of the first thing I thought when I saw it was like, oh, it looks like the same graphics as like the third one.
I think that would be fine too, but we've seen next gen,
Yeah,
and so it's just you inevitably will, I think, make those comparisons, and even then, like comparing. You could argue Valhalla is going to kind of be the swan song of this generation's Assassin's Creed games, but like Ghost of Tsushima is kind of capping off the end of the PS4 era, and those games look drastically different.
Yeah, agreed. And my only thing is, I don't know how it's going to look like in next gen, unless that was captured on next gen stuff.
If you know what I mean. I think they mentioned it was on current generation.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of felt because I actually played like Assassin's Creed the night before, just like because I was curious. So I played that and then I watched it. It's not like it's a huge jump because I don't expect huge jumps honestly for next gen stuff already. So, but it already to me it looks better in like certain aspects, like let's say like lighting or like certain details here and there. But otherwise, I think we're at this point of like graphics can't jump any higher. Like it won't be like a huge jump like we expect.
right.
And it could be, but I think that's just a matter of like how much the developer can like pull out right away, you know, with the new tech. But I think I think it's just cool, like with the whole. It's just cool how it's Vikings. I like how the setting is. I was not super into it initially, but watching it more, I was like, oh, actually, I'm into it. I'm down.
Yeah, the sieges and stuff look really cool too.
Yeah. Oh, actually, the sieges look really cool. Like it looked dope as hell with the idea of it. I'm like, all right. It's exactly what you mentioned before, Ian. Like
I do like how the sieges are kind of an upgrade on the like mass warfare system they had for Odyssey.
Right, yeah.
Because Odyssey's mass warfare, I think, was pretty bland in comparison.
It's super optional.
Well, it's optional, but also like in terms of just the setting, because you're just thrown onto a beach with a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And then you basically just
true.
slaughter people.
You just kill people
until
to a certain
you hit
count.
a number.
Yeah.
Whereas at least in Valhalla, you know,
you have a goal.
You kind of progress through a siege where you get on the beach, you break through the gates, then you fight, and you probably eventually lead to a captain fight, or you can just go assassinate the captain. I think that is an interesting and also good design upgrade where you can just stealth through it if you want to.
Agreed. And I think another cool thing was, speaking of weapons, was they mentioned how there's less weapons now, but it's instead I think that you can invest in them so you can upgrade them over time depending on how you play. And then I saw their skill tree too. I don't remember if it was in this demo or like a previous one, but it looked more expansive, so it could be more. It felt more like, what's that one game? It's like that one ARPG on Steam that everyone touches all the time.
Path of Exile?
Yeah. It looked like it was going towards that direction.
Oh.
And like how, like, it's not as much, but it seems like it's going in that direction. It's not like that expansive, but it's like, oh, you have these directions of the tree and then they can eventually wrap around in a certain way. Or they kind of blend together. But I thought that was cool, at least. So I guess we'll see about that. Because I think they're not focused on levels, but just more like getting skill points versus just... And skill points you can get, I think, in multiple ways versus just like, oh, I have to level up to get this.
To go into the whole, like...
They even said that for leveling up, you had to pick skill... I think, didn't you have to find skill books or something?
Yeah, you can find skill
It wasn't
books.
necessarily tied to levels.
Right, exactly, yeah. Or you could do like random... Like, obviously you could do like random stuff. But books were one way to get them. They want to reward exploration more versus just like, oh, I'm just gonna power level to this point, which I feel that way with Odyssey sometimes. All right, I'm just waiting to get skills.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, I have to go. I don't know. We'll see in gameplay because because I bought the new CPU, I got the game for free. So I guess we'll find out later. Yeah, no, I didn't expect it. I was just like, oh. Cool. I was gonna buy this like 2 days ago, but I'm glad I bought it today, I guess. But
the dual wielding, and instead of like, it seems like it's gonna be more in depth. Like to like level up your weapons or whatever. It seems like you can like focus down, so the combat will be a lot more in depth, which would be really cool to see.
And then this definitely feels like the team that did like Black Flag.
Oh, really?
Because they brought back like how if you are in a boat and you have your crew, they can like, instead of just singing songs, they'll also be telling stories on the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then you can get stuff like that. Like before in AC4, they would be quote unquote shanties like floating around, and you had to do like a quick like run through this obstacle type of thing in this area, and then you can grab it. So it's kind of the same deal. So I'm like, all right, that's AC4 right there. All right, cool. They even have like rap battles. Ian, did you see that?
What? No.
Yeah, they have rap or quote unquote rap battles, and it's like
what?
Viking rap battles.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is there audio?
It's probably
of this.
Maybe I don't know actually.
Wait, what? Didn't hear you.
If they have like audio of the raps.
Yeah, like is there an example or?
It's in the gameplay. It was in the post-show gameplay.
Oh, I didn't watch the post-show.
I could probably find it. No, yeah, I just had it on randomly, and that's how I found out about it.
There is historical context in that, which I think is funny that they did that.
Yeah.
Or, I appreciate that, but it is funny. Because I think you have, in terms of just, I think hanging out in your settlement, or even in, Viking duels, you can basically have rap battles before you fight. Or you can have drinking contests.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just goofy little mini games.
Yeah. It's just a mini game, but it was just cool to have it. I was like, all right, cool. Oh, yeah. I wrote down notes for this part too. But speaking of chasing stuff down, you can chase down tattoos, like how you do with the shanties in AC4. So I think maybe that's tattoos and not songs. but kind of same thing. You collect tattoos just to get new stuff for your Ivor. Apparently there's no automatic regeneration, so it's more. This is where I was kind of iffy, where they add a survival mechanic to the game. So now you have to like get your own food to regain health and all that stuff. So I guess we'll see. And I think they're gonna try to delve into more of like the mystical, magical boss fights that they kind of touch on in Odyssey and like Origins, but try to like include that more. Like for instance, like I think like in the gameplay, her Ivor it looked like she got drugged in a way, or something happens and she like goes into like this state that she sees like it's like a spiritual state or something like that. It was kind of weird, but essentially the boss would pop up and it was like a ghost or something, but you have to fight her, but she can like teleport, she could like do all this crazy stuff. So I think that's their way of trying to spice up intense boss battles, maybe. But yeah,
The
other than that,
Vikings did something called fleeting.
Yeah, or flighting.
The
Yeah,
boast contest. This is
Yeah.
awesome. I did not know about this. I've just been reading about Viking rap battles for the past 2 minutes, or
But yeah, no, that's pretty much all I got from Valhalla. I mean, I'm interested just because I like Assassin's Creed. At the end of the day, I was just like, yep, I got what I expected. Nothing new. Or it's new, but nothing nothing like, whoa, that's crazy. I want this game all of a sudden for sure. But I don't know about you guys.
definitely a. Wait, is it dropping on PC?
Yes.
Same time? Okay, then.
Yes. Same.
Yeah, I'll probably get.
I think it's October. October
Mm.
is dropping. Yes. So
Sick.
should be
No, it's November.
okay.
November 17th is the
Flipped it.
release date.
I was trying to. Is that also Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, something.
It's-
a lot of.
It's competing with Cyberpunk.
Oh no.
Okay. Now it should. We'll
But-
see.
November stat.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be the dissenting voice. I'm not as interested in
Yeah.
Valhalla. The more I see it, the more it is I think an updated and polished version of AC Origins and Odyssey, and I just didn't particularly enjoy those games.
I was gonna say.
I didn't play Origins. I played maybe 30 minutes of Origins. I think at this point 4 hours in Odyssey, but to me it's not as fun. So I think it's really cool what they're doing for some things. More than likely though, I'm just not going to get the game.
Yeah. It's funny because I knew the more I watched the gameplay, I was like, this looks more like Witcher 3. I don't think Luke's gonna get it.
Yeah, even there was a YouTube reviewer who he got 30 minutes to play the game, and he got to post 30 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And he even mentioned too, like, there's probably going to be a lot of comparisons to Witcher 3. So let's get that out of the way. Like, it does look like Witcher 3 in terms of like, not even just like the setting, but also I think they are kind of touching on some of the like gameplay mechanics of The Witcher, and I didn't enjoy those. So
Yeah. I was gonna say I like it. I like Witcher 3, so that's why I'm like, all right, cool. More of this is fine with me. So, but it was funny because I was like, yeah, Luke's not gonna like it. See. Oh yeah, last thing was
yeah, Far Cry.
Far Cry 6.
Far Cry.
It sucked, dude. It sucked that this got leaked, because I would have been like, holy shit, this is dope. But it's still, I guess we got a trailer out of it, and it looks interesting because the what's the actor's name?
Giancarlo.
Yeah,
Esposito.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Phenomenal
All right.
actor. Phenomenal actor.
Yep.
phenomenal. I'm ready. I was like, all right. Even though it leaked, just like watching that trailer, I was like, this is dope. I want it. Like, this is more interesting than 5, because I think 5 was US. I don't
Yeah,
know.
5 was, I think, in the one set in
Or, yeah,
Montana
yeah.
or Idaho
Montana,
or
yeah.
something.
It was the religious cult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm like, there's only so much you can do with that to me.
Oh.
And I think Far Cry, this looks way cooler. Because I liked 3 and 4. So I didn't even get into 5. Because I was
Oh,
just like,
really?
all right, whatever.
Dang.
Yeah.
I liked
didn't care about
all 3 of them. I never
yeah?
played any of them. I would always watch them, but
Yeah.
I love Far Cry.
Well,
I feel like it's such a big selling point of the Far Cry series is that, especially after 3, is that their villains are always these high profile, very
eccentric.
well acted characters. And just on the trailer for 6, I don't think that's going to be any different.
No.
Especially because I think Giancarlo Esposito, I think, is such a household name at this point because it's Breaking Bad for some people, it's The Boys for some people.
It's even Mandalorian now.
Yeah, he's in Mandalorian. Better Call Saul, which I mean was later, but like everybody, I think, if not knowing him, they can recognize him, and I think he does have that kind of quiet intimidation aspect that I think I'm really excited to see him in that role, but we know nothing about the game, and I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I think it'll be.
I think the only thing I've heard a rumor, and I'm assuming it's probably true because it would make sense, is that you just play a character that's part of the resistance in that country. But yeah, we don't really know anything about the game itself.
Right.
Yeah, same. But I'm pretty hyped. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole Ubisoft Forward. I think the one thing so this is kind of going into like what I was talking about, how there's not a lot of their games right now. There's nothing crazy new. Like if anything, they kind of expand more on certain games. Like I think if anything, they hit hard on Watch Dogs Legion and Assassin's Creed, and then like just announced Far Cry 6, right?
Yeah.
So that's like those are like probably their big hitters. But I think what kind of helps is because otherwise I think it was an okay conference. It was like cool, but I think what kind of helps is this is like a series, so they're like, oh, this is like part 1 of I don't know however many. There's gonna be another one, like I think like a month or so.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So with that, because I know we're starting to touch on it, but I know how you guys were. What was it exactly? You guys were talking about how with these games, it looks like it's the tail end, like nothing like current gen.
Yeah, like these are the tail end of this generation.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, do you think if they're having a new part, because they're supposed to have like, for instance, like Gods and Monsters, that didn't get shown. There's like another Ubisoft game, I can't remember all of a sudden, but I wonder if the next part is probably like their new stuff, like this is like they're gonna work on for next gen for sure. Do you guys think that would be the case?
Maybe.
I think it's like Ubisoft, since they're not kind of the first party developers.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have much else to show that's necessarily new.
Yeah.
Because even between just this event, that was a lot of games to touch up on. And plus, I know like outside of just the game dev world, they've had a lot of studio shakeups. Like they've had some pretty high profile people leave their studios.
Yeah.
And so it's I don't know if that's affected their dev time, but I would be pretty surprised if they have another Ubisoft Forward and it does show off their kind of next gen.
It'd be
titles.
I think
because honestly, but like besides Gods and Monsters and like you said, I think there's maybe another one.
Yeah,
I feel like Ubisoft isn't really. They probably have next gen stuff that is not ready to be even shown off.
Yeah.
So I would be surprised.
Yeah, and I wonder. So, and then going to that, how do you guys feel about how a lot of these conferences are starting to just be broken up? I think, like for instance, like Cyberpunk's doing like their series. Now Ubisoft's doing this, and I think only the big ones were. I think like PlayStation and probably Xbox. I don't think Xbox will be doing. Well, I guess we'll find out also because that's like in a couple weeks, I believe. I think next week they have their event. But I'm just curious. Do you guys prefer things being broken up like this, or do you guys liked how E3 would just have like their big conferences, just put out all the hype, let's put out all the new shit in front of everyone?
I think I actually like this format better.
Yeah.
I think it gives each like studio or each developer more time to talk about all of their games. Whereas when it's all of E3, you probably have to pick and choose. Like, okay, we can only show off our big AAA. Like, these are the big sellers.
Yeah.
Right.
I think now that everybody gets their own window that they can set themselves.
Yeah.
We're probably seeing overall, I think, more games being shown than if it was a traditional E3 event.
Right.
And so I do like that, where like we can take the time to talk about all these games instead of having to like, hey, E3 happened.
Mm-hmm.
These are the big ones.
Say what you, Ian? Or
Yeah. I don't know. I do feel like with E3, it's more of an event, so it's more of kind of like a just more of like an experience. But in this format, I agree. You get a lot more. You get to look at a lot more in depth about what it is you're gonna be excited for.
Yeah, I think a lot of games get more exposure because of this, just because we don't have to worry about time slots,
Yeah.
Like, we only have like an hour and a half or so. What actually gets shown versus like this is like, we can break it up this month, then next month, blah blah blah. And I'm sure like this is all mainly because of COVID, because otherwise I'm sure, if anything, it felt like a lot of the publishers are moving more towards, let's not go to E3 and have our own show. You know? Like how he's been doing it for a while, but I feel like everyone else is probably wanting to move towards that. Like Bethesda would do their own thing.
Well, because didn't
or like
PlayStation,
and PlayStation just did it. Yeah. But
I agree.
I mean, and this is cool, but I guess we'll see what part 2 has. Or whatever part that's going to be. Okay, we'll see what they announce.
Yeah.
I don't think they announced when.
Yeah, like the only downside, I guess I would say, between comparing a traditional E3 event versus the system we have now, where it's everybody doing their own, is kind of what we talked about with our last episode, where when there are all these events going on, it's really hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah,
it really is.
And it feels like we're being overwhelmed with all these titles. Whereas E3, you do kind of get the best of the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like with E3, you do tend to see a little more polish going in to your games. Like you obviously want to show off your best product. Mm-hmm. Whereas, at least to me, it feels like with these events, they're still really good, but I think studios are being a little more lax with what they're presenting.
Yeah,
because you can just show off like
here's
a very small teaser, or like, hey, here's our patch, and like, okay, that's good, but if I don't play the game, I don't particularly care.
Exactly,
because like was it like the Ubisoft pre-show was just kind of like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it's like, here's an update, or we're here.
Yeah,
still.
For like 30 minutes, they were just playing Track Simulator or Trackmania or whatever that was.
Something like that. Oh my gosh. That's why I was like, all right, I'll just wait. I'll just mute this and wait until the main show pops up. But all right. Yeah, I guess. And do you guys want to go into like, since it's like halfway through the year, I know like with all these announcements, unless you guys want to wait until Xbox, I'm cool with that too. If you guys just want to talk about what games you're hyped for. Or
I mean, honestly, with Xbox, like none of us have the Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I had that's Xbox.
I completely forgot what the console was called for a second. Xbox One. I was gonna say Series X, but
I think that's it. No, I think that's it.
The Series X.
That's the new one.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Oh wait,
Luc was talking about
Xbox One.
Yeah.
Oh, Xbox One.
Xbox One is the current one.
Yeah.
I almost said the Xbox Series X or Scarlet, or whatever the new one is. It shows how much, like, I don't think any of us particularly care. Like, I think we're all curious to see what Halo Infinite is like.
Yeah.
But like, what else does Xbox offer that we don't already have access to? Because I honestly can't think of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is all to say, I don't care if we talk about what we're excited for now, because we're all gonna say Halo Infinite, obviously. But besides that, what else is Xbox gonna do?
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. If you guys want, we could just. I was just gonna list like my top 5 what I'm kind of excited for, since it's like halfway through. What about you guys? Do you guys have just a list of anything? It doesn't really matter.
We're just talking about 2020, right?
Yeah, 2020.
I mean, if you got a list, you can go first.
I mean, yes, I guess so far. Like of course we
Ian's,
mentioned.
That's Ian's excuse for putting together a list real quick. Here.
I know. But if anything, we could just leave it for next time. It's not even a big deal because we've spent a lot longer on the show than I thought. If anything, if anything, let's just save it for after Xbox. Because who knows, they might drop something. I'm giving them a lot of like
benefit of the doubt,
a lot of goodwill.
I'm giving them a lot of goodwill on this one. It's like, oh, besides Halo, what you guys got? Who knows? We'll see. Like, like if anything, like watch, they drop a fucking new Batman game. I'm gonna shit my pants.
Oh yeah, you would.
I would shit my pants on the spot. But yeah, actually, let's just do that. We'll save that for next time. I feel like we could talk a little bit. Like we can like talk more and like discuss that.
When are they supposed to announce all their stuff?
I think their gameplay stuff is. Let me see. I put it in my calendar. I believe July 23rd.
Okay,
yeah.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. So if anything, we might.
We'll
I'm like
delay it.
debating on like when we podcast, if we just wait until then and then podcast after.
I mean, we might as well.
I'm saying this all for the listeners so they know
when to expect it.
what to expect.
We just maybe make a late upload or something.
Yeah,
we'll figure that out.
I honestly think everybody's waiting for Halo, and then no matter what else, people are just like, we got Halo. That's all we came here for.
Yeah,
which is probably kind of disheartening for Xbox.
It is because I like what they're doing, but and that's why I just keep saying I want them to get like drop some more stuff. I want to see what they keep talking about. They're like, we have all these studios. Let's just drop what we got. I'm like, yes, please. I want to know what you guys have been working on.
Yeah, if they got some like exclusives or something, that'd be hype.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
So I guess we'll see. Because it's always because the argument still stands. PS4 or PS5 has way more exclusives. I'm more excited for. So, and if anything, Xbox is moving more towards PC gaming. Also, it just seems more like a platform versus caring about the box.
Yeah. I think like a lot of the reason I don't have an Xbox is probably because I have a PC.
Because you can buy it on most likely you just buy it on Steam.
Yeah, you just Game Pass or
it doesn't really matter too much. But we'll see. Right now I just want to see what they got. So let's just save it for next time.
Sounds good.
We'll save that.
All right.
Other than that, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for listening. You can tweet us any topic suggestions or just keep listening to us ramble. Let's see. Tweet us at SuperBossPod or just even email us at SuperBossFeedPat.
Are you okay?
No,
they're all culminating together.
I'm dying. SuperBossFeedback@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube. We're slowly getting all our episodes up, and then you can even message us on Facebook, whatever works for y'all. But let us know how we're doing, and just thanks again for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yep. We'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.